Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My last two videos were talking about the Oxford school shooting and what happened there. I do want to give a trigger warning. I will be talking about some really bad things. So if you don't want to hear about graphic school shooting information, you might not want to watch this video. But if you are interested in hearing the true, real story of what happened in Oxford, Michigan on November 30th, 2021, keep watching. So, my last two videos were done on the survivors, Keegan Gregory and Heidi Allen, and I told their stories of what they seen, what they went through. Today I want to give the story of Kristy Gibson Marshall. She was the assistant principal in Oxford High School for 5 years. She had spent 29 years in the district, so it is safe to assume that she probably knew a lot of the students that went to her school. She started in the elementary school, she moved to the middle school, and now she's in the high school as an assistant principal. The first half of her career, she was an elementary school teacher, then principal of the elementary school in Oxford, where the shooter went. She's known him a very long time. The defendant, the shooter, I mean, I could call him the defendant, but you know, I really don't care what YouTube has to say about me saying any of these words. I don't care about monetization. I'm going to continue calling him the shooter. He transferred into Oxford in 3rd or 4th grade, she said. Kristy Gibson Marshall was one of those teachers / principals that was very active with all of her students. She was one of those principals you wish everybody was. She was nice, she was friendly, she cared, genuinely cared about her students. She would give them hellos and hugs, and she was always smiling. She always let them know her door was always open, asking everybody how everybody was every morning, afternoon, after school. She just cared, and she was always in the hallways interacting with the students. She never had any bad experiences with the shooter. Also, in the whole time that he went there, she had never met with his parents. At 12:30 on November 30th, 2021, Kristy was in the lunchroom supervising. She loved to interact with the students at lunchtime. She said they were eating and they were relaxing, and it was the best time of the day to go sit with them and have a chat with them. Usually they would be relaxing and they would be funny and joking, and they would open up to her at lunchtime. She said it was always a good time to talk to them at lunchtime. When she left the lunchroom, now with my other ones, I'm just going to put the map here right over my face, and I will circle where I'm talking about on the map. So the lunchroom commons area, which is not on the map, it is above here, and then down the middle of the map is the 400 hallway. But the lunchroom is up here. When she left the lunchroom commons area, she continued down the 400 hallway till she got to the senior window. She kind of explained it. It was just a spot for the seniors to go where it was only seniors. There were no freshmen, no other, just all seniors. She was on her way to the area. She was on her way to the senior window. A student we know now as Keegan Gregory went running past her, screaming, "Get the hell out of here!" A few kids were running behind him, following him, and she stopped one of them and said, "What's going on?" And they said they didn't know. They were running out with him. Now she walks around with a walkie-talkie. She gets on her walkie-talkie and she says, "There's kids running down the hallway. Is there something going on?" Just then, someone comes over the loudspeaker and says to lock down and implement Alice protocols. Alert, lock down, inform, counter, evacuate. She wasn't sure if it was a drill or not. Kristy, as the vice principal, is supposed to lock down wherever she is. And when she was asked on the stand if she did that, she did not. She wanted to go check the hallway, which was hallway 400, right in the center, like she did every day. But this time it was she wanted to go check the hallway. As she's walking down the 400 hallway, before getting to the 200 hallway, she heard 2 gunshots. When asked on the stand what it sounded like, she said that it sounded like 2 pieces of lumber being smacked together. She then starts walking towards the gunshots. She felt she needed to help someone if they had been shot. Then she starts smelling what she described was cap gun. She said that's what it smelled like. She said over her walkie-talkie, "I can smell cap gun smell." Kurt Noose, which was another vice principal, answered back, "Where are you?" She says, "The 200 hallway." He said, "That's a big hallway. Exactly where are you?" She says she's in the 200 hallway near the 400 hallway. And when she turned left, which is our right, so going this way, if you were looking at the map going this way, she came down the hallway, and then she, if you were looking at the map, turned this way. And she could see a student down the hall walking at her. The student was in dark baggy clothes, and when she looked at him, he was bringing his arm down to his side. She says over her walkie, "I have eyes on the shooter." She keeps walking towards him. She felt like she had to try and help him. She then notices a student on the floor. In between her and that student on the floor was a garbage can. She moved that out of the way while the shooter is still walking at her with the gun in his hand. As he got closer to her, she realized it was E.C., the shooter. She thought, no way could this be him. She's known him since 3rd grade. She was just dumbfounded that it was her. She did not understand why. She went on to say that they had a connection. She felt very close to him. If she ever asked him a question, he would always ask her, answer her. They would chat. So at first, her thought was, well, maybe he just picked the gun up off the ground and he's bringing it to her. She asked him, "Are you okay? What's going on?" He didn't answer her. He just calmly walked right past her. As he was walking past her, she got up and started to walk with him. She wanted to see if she still could help him. She then realized that she was too far away from the student that was on the ground. She really needed to get back to him and try to help him. She gets back to that student on the floor. She rolls him over and she realizes it's Tate Meir. She tried to get his backpack off of him because at this time, it's 2021, it's COVID, they weren't using lockers. So everybody had their backpacks on them. When she tried to get it off of him, he's athletic, he's a big guy, very strong. She couldn't get it off. She was devastated to find that it was Tate Meir. She has known him since 3 years old. Karen McDonald asked her, "How could you know him since he was 3? He had 3 or 4, I'm not sure, older brothers, and they had all gone through the school, and the mom was very active in the PTO, so Tate went everywhere with her, and she brought him to school every day that she had to go there from the time that he was 3. She felt she needed to save Tate for his mom. She could see that he was shot in the back of the head. That was the entrance wound, and it came out his left eye. She checked his pulse and then took his vitals. She said there was blood everywhere. She didn't care. She started giving him life-saving breaths. She called over her walkie for some help. Kurt Noose came immediately, helped her take his backpack off of him. She noticed he was blue. And every time she would give a breath, his color would become lighter. So she felt like it was helping him. So she continued to give breaths until emergency workers came and took him from her. And even at that point, she was yelling at them to keep giving him breaths. He needs the air. She kept telling him to stay with her, that she loved him, that she needed him to hang on with her. She continued for a long time to give him breaths. She said she could taste his blood for months and months and months. It was all over her, his blood. As she was giving Tate breaths, the police showed up. As the shooter walked out of the bathroom, he did not see that the police officers were there. There would have been no way for him to at all see any police officers. He walked out of the bathroom, put his gun on top of a garbage can, got onto his knees, and put his hands in the air. His hands in the air. He surrendered. Cops came, put him into custody, and took him away. When they approached the shooter, they kept asking him his name. And he wouldn't answer them. He wouldn't tell them his name, wouldn't answer him. She then got up, hurried, ran over to the police officers, told them his name, and ran back to Tate, continuing to try and save his life. She was finally asked, "What time did you end up leaving the school that day?" And they didn't let her leave until 10:30 at night. And then after that, there were no more questions, no cross-examination. She then got off the stand and directly walked to Tate Mears' parents and hugged them. I can't imagine what she went through. I can't imagine the fear that she had going towards the gunshots. She has a shooter walking towards her, and she's walking towards him. He walks past her, and she walked with him. She did everything that she possibly could to try to get him to surrender, to stop, to give up the gun. And he wouldn't. This is the kind of teachers, principals, vice principals that I wish we all had. I really just wanted to get this story out. I wanted to get her story out there because the truth of what happened at Oxford needs to come out. Not everybody told the truth back in 2021 of what happened and what went on that day. Keep watching because it's coming out. It's coming out. So this was my video on the story of what happened with Kristy Gibson Marshall. My next video will be the story of Molly Darnell. She's been through a lot. Her story is definitely a story of survival. All of these stories, I can't imagine. I know I keep saying the same thing. I just can't imagine. I can't even imagine going through anything like this. And this is all for the Miller hearing, where the judge has to decide whether he spends the rest of his life in jail or not. There's a lot of testimony in this hearing, and quite a few people that think he can be rehabilitated. What do you think? Do you think the shooter can be rehabilitated? Please answer in the comments below. I don't. I do not think that he can. To have parents like he had, he's messed up. I don't know, maybe if he has no communication ever again with his parents, maybe, I don't know. What do you think? Let's have a conversation down below in my comments, because I would really love to know what you think. Alright, well, you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you on my next video. Bye!